Hey friends, we're on to the 20 amazing wines to drink in 2020. And can you believe it? We're down to our last three wines. The one wine I'm totally turking to drink today is a Riesling. Because, like they say, everything happens for a Riesling. The world of Riesling is clearly divided into two solid camps: people who love Riesling and people who fail to understand Riesling. According to me, Riesling is the most misunderstood grape variety in the world. But like me, I know of so many others who simply love the beauty, purity, elegance of a really well made Riesling. The wine that I'm going to be trying today is from Germany, and it is the Nik Weis St. Urbans-Hof. This comes from the classic region of Mosel. Guys, as you know, some of the finest Rieslings come from Germany. Germany is the homeland of the Riesling grape variety, where it actually thrives in its beauty and its expression. I'm excited to taste this wine. Nik Weis is the name of the owner of the company, and he's the third generation winemaker. Very, very talented, so much so that he's won certain many prestigious accolades, and that is why his name precedes along with the name of the winery on the label. Other than the word Riesling, which tells us that it is 100% Riesling wine, the other two words that I'm reading on the label are estate bottled and from old wines. As you know, estate bottled automatically means that the wine has been bottled on the winery premises and not been outsourced, which means that it's been through minimal handling and probably suggests that it's a higher quality, better quality wine. From old wines, what that means is St. Urbans-Hof is proud to have wines that are anywhere between 40 to 100 years old. This eagle is a very special symbol. It stands for the VDP. And VDP, guys, is the German association and a conglomeration of some of the best known, most prestigious wineries in Germany that produce the highest quality wines. In fact, you'll be glad to know that I am, in fact, the VDP ambassador for German wines in India. So I'm really very excited to be tasting this particular VDP wine. It's a 2018 vintage, so a relatively young wine. So I can't wait to take a sip. Let's pour this wine in the glass, and even as I pour, I can see it's got this lovely golden hue to it. So it's not just a pale, limpid, lemon colored wine. It's got this lovely golden touch to it, which is really very inviting. On the nose, the wine is fresh. It's got these enticing aromas of lemon, apples. There's some warm, tropical, yellow fruit coming through, hint of peach. And there's also a little touch of a little bit of spice, but very distinctly some wet stone. You know, the wet stone aroma profile is very typical of German Rieslings, particularly from the Mosel, where they come from the slaty soils. And this kind of minerality on the nose is so typical and so classic for a Riesling, particularly those coming out of Germany. Let's take a sip. On the palate, the wine is really very invigorating. It's fresh. It's, in terms of sweetness, yes, it does have a little bit of sweetness, but it's not very sweet. It's kind of almost off dry. But what is remarkable is that this little sugary sweetness that exists on the wine is so beautifully offset with this mouth-watering, refreshing acidity. So the finish is actually quite clean and almost minerally. Again, very classic, very textbook, and very representative of a well-made Riesling. My mouth is watering even as I'm talking about the wine, which is always a good sign. It's a really mouth-watering, juicy, it's got a lovely juicy finish. And in terms of flavors, again, you get a bit of that grapefruit, peaches sort of coming through. But to me, this is a wine that's beautiful on its own. It's extremely thirst quenching. In terms of food compatibility, I would try these with foods which either something salty like a salted cheese or salted nuts, But one other food that a Riesling goes exceptionally well with, and I know this because I've tried this on a number of occasions, is with a lot of creamy soups. So if you're looking at cream of asparagus or cream of mushrooms, anything that is thick and mouth coating, I find that the vibrancy and the high acidity of a Riesling helps cut through that fattiness or the creaminess of a dish really well. So that's another thing. And of course, you all know Riesling is stupendously famous world over for its compatibility with all kinds of Asian and Indian cuisine, because a little bit of that sweetness, which is not cloying, it's just uplifting and satisfying, but it kind of offsets the spiciness in foods really well. I'd really try that with foods that are perhaps moderately spiced. This is a wonderful wine to have in the summers, but also a great one to sort of kick off the evening with, any kind of a festive occasion. And I would definitely drink this wine cold. The colder it is, the more enjoyable it would be. And as you can see, I'm drinking this, sipping this out of this lovely slender glass. So like the slender bottle, and like the leanness and the slenderness of and the light-bodied feeling of the wine, it's best to enjoy this out of a nice, long-stemmed, thin-shaped sort of a glass, because that is what concentrates the aromas of the wine. It's very aromatic, by the way. I may not have mentioned that specifically earlier, but it really sort of brings the aromas straight to your nose and helps you enjoy the wine for its beauty, its elegance, and its purity. The price of this wine is 3,600 maximum retail price in Maharashtra, widely available and definitely available at the Wine to Wine cellars located at the food hall in Mumbai and Bangalore. So I hope you will not wait any further and reach out for this lovely, invigorating, playful, delicious Riesling wine from Germany called Nik Weis, St. Urbans-Hof, and say cheers, because like I said, guys, everything happens for a Riesling. Cheers on that note.